Hi guys, and welcome to another episode. Today, I have the honor and the pleasure of sitting down with somebody who I've wanted to talk to for a while, and that is Mr. Gavin from SOV. And in my regular interviews, I'm normally like super prepared and I write down a long list of questions. You see me kind of nervously glancing over at them as I go through the interview. But today I just wanted to shoot from the hip because I have a pretty good understanding of SOV Gavin, of course. Like Big Mike, who's kind of one of your biggest advocates, is a really close friend of mine. And I've watched the project.
Great guy.
So, yeah, he's great. I love the guy. Honestly, he's hilarious. I guess
he gets money.
Yeah, he does.
Gets it.
Yeah, he does, man. Honestly, he's a smart dude. Researches a lot, and honestly sends me all sorts of brilliant articles. But I guess before we start talking about Mike too much, do you want to just kind of give me your background? Like, who is Gavin? Like, where did you grow up? Like, how did Gavin go from like?
Oh man,
to having
an interview in itself. I have a really weird background.
Well, good. Let's hear it.
I'll try to keep it really nice and short and sweet. It's going to just confuse everybody. But basically, I grew up in the United States in the middle of nowhere. Yep. I'm from a smaller town initially in a farm, like a pretty big farm.
Yep.
After that, when I was 18, I just straight dipped. I started selling cars and stuff. I made stupid money selling cars at 18. I was making more than my parents. I went to college after that for a little bit, and everybody was getting like 40, 50K jobs after I was making like 120K a year. I was like, what the hell am I doing here? And it was boring. Like, I was in all this gifted stuff and these like advanced mathematics when I was in like grade school. And then they made me do the same mathematics in middle school, then the same in high school. Then they wanted me to take algebra 2 again in college. And I was just like, why am I paying for this stuff? And I was literally paying for it out of my own pocket with the money that I made from selling cars and everything. So I was like, whatever, I'm not going to do this. So I was a professional poker player and options trader for a while after that. I started trading before I was 18, believe it or not. So I have a ton of experience in financial markets, which is why I'm so big on SOVdex and what we're doing now, and why I have so many more ideas and so many more things in works for what we're building. But I did that for a little bit. That's incredibly stressful. So I stopped after like 3 years. But it was fun, man. It was a good time. It was great. I lived in Vegas during that time as well. I just lived the full-on degen lifestyle, man. Just trading options on expiration dates and just living in the casinos and having the Bellagio like comp all my meals and everything every day. It was good times. After that, I then decided I wanted to do something else. So I ended up getting a contracting gig where I was a art auctioneer on cruise ships as an independent contractor, selling like high-end art, like Rembrandt etchings, Peter Max's, Chagall's, Dali's, like all kinds of very, very high-end artwork. I think I had a single cruise where I hit near $1 million sales in art in I think 5 days or something like that. I don't know. Something absurd. Yeah, I was making absurd money back then too, and I had no bills because I actually lived on the cruise ship. Lived on it, and they paid for all your food and everything. So I just was stacking stupid money at that point. And then I met a girl or whatever and decided to live on land, and had an import-export business where I had electronics imported from China, and then I exported them in the United States. And then after that, the most recent thing that I've done before doing this for like 6 or 7 years is basically an IT consultant, from everything from staffing the projects to the project management of a lot of things, which is kind of how I got my basis in understanding how all the technology works, how it interlinks together. And I started messing with cryptocurrency in late 2013 or whenever Bitcoin hit 1,000 that first time. After that, I started mining Litecoin too. But yeah, and then now I'm developing as well and doing these projects. So now I'm actually, I built the front end for our thing, or part of it. Sven helped me, but I did a lot of it. A lot of that's me, a lot of it's Sven. But now I'm developing in EOS, Scatter, Bootstrap, HTML, Vue.js, Node.js, all these CSS, SAS, all these different new front-end technologies. Some of them, I know, because I was looking at your site. I thought that it was in Vue at first, and I was really surprised how far the WordPress system had actually come, because it reminded me of Vue. I was like, this kind of looks like Vue, maybe. Then I pulled up the developer tools, and I was like, this is in WordPress. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's gone really far, and I think. It looks like voice uses that a lot too. People were complaining about that, and I was one of the first to mention something like, hey, WordPress is extremely robust, and that allows a massive blog content or content creation service just be immediately integrated into it. You don't know what you're talking about. Most people don't know what they're talking about.
For sure.
But yeah, and now I'm doing that. That's my background. Sorry, it's a big one, man. It's interesting, but I'm a entrepreneur, and I have a very diverse background.
Yeah, that's what I find. The coolest people that I meet and talk to have like the craziest, like not craziest upbringings, but they just like they're all over the place. They're here. They're, you know what I mean? They're like, and that's really like, I think that develops the kind of soft skills and kind of curiosity to want to propel you and the entrepreneurial spirit, right? Because that's really what it boils down to. I'm hearing you say that you are, I mean, at heart, like, and it's a bad word, but I don't think it's a bad word. Like when used in the right context, you're a hustler, right? Like you just, you find ways to be able to make money and you go about it. And it's, you know, just people who live these kind of traditional lives, I find don't tend to be like the most robust entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? Is hustler a bad word to you?
No, it's fine. No, it's good. It doesn't bother me at all. Like, well, here's what it is. Like right now I'm just chasing my dreams. I was just like kind of for a while when I first started doing the IT consulting and stuff, I was like chasing my dreams kind of at that moment. It was kind of fun. It was new. I really liked it. It was new technology, learning all that stuff, but it got old really quick because I was like working for other people and I was a consultant and like, that's part of the reason why I'm really crude with stuff right now. It's kind of funny. People like try to give me advice on how to be professional. They don't understand. Like I signed Deloitte and all sorts of other big four clients and stuff. Like I have signed major tech firms and, you know, like the whitest of the white collar of them, you know what I'm saying? With the most politically correct, most consultant, like polished. Yes, I understand exactly what I need to do. I don't want to anymore. I'm tired of it. I don't care anymore. I don't like to sugarcoat anything. But yeah, I almost got fired all the time too, though, because I would tell, I was a really good consultant. Like I would never sugarcoat stuff for you. I wouldn't be as blunt. I wouldn't maybe be as harsh, but I'd be like, listen, you know, if you don't listen to my advice, then we're wasting our time and you should just fire me because you're going to make my reputation bad. You're going to waste more of your company's money. You're going to have less to pay your current employees and your situation is just going to be worse. And then you're going to blame it on me because it was my consulting services. So please just fire me or listen to me. Let's get done with this. You know what I mean? Like I was like that and they would fire me, then they'd hire me back. And then I'd be their only guy, you know, because I'd be the only guy who would tell them the truth. Everybody else feeding them full of crap to sign a contract. You know? Yeah, like much like yourself, I have a really diverse background too. You know, went to university for a while, obviously. But I also, I've like swung a hammer. I was, you know, I worked in occupational health and safety in oil fields. Was an underwater commercial certified diver. Like, you know what I mean? That's sweet.
I was a oil field scaffolder working in oil field, hanging by my nuts at 400 feet and minus 50 Celsius. Like
I couldn't do it.
And when
I couldn't do it. I got mad respect for you, man.
I know.
Mad respect.
I know. No, it's whatever. It's not even like, oh, I'm Mr. It's just like, you know, like I did a lot of different things too. And I guess what I was trying to say was much like yourself, when I got into that role and I kept getting educated because I was like, I don't want to be like these other guys over here who don't have teeth and have had like 6 divorces and like, are probably you know, have some serious substance addiction issues. You know, but so when I became a consultant and I actually came from that level and I worked my way up and got an educator or whatever, I'd get put into a room with a lot of these oil fields, you know, VPs and stuff like that. And they would, you know, if we were having issues, you know, they go in and all these other people, they'd be scared to death and be like, well, actually, you know, our TRIF rate could be improved by just talking this obscure, complete nonsense. And I would just like sit them down and I would, exactly like you and I are talking right now, I'd just be like, look, it's fucked. And this is why, excuse my, we're both swearing.
You're good.
We're doing this Joe Rogan today. Okay. I'd be like, look, this is the problem. This is why it's screwed. And this is what you can do to fix it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And it actually came to the point that they would literally, every time they came in, they would grab me, they'd take me out, we'd go out, we'd have meals. And they'd get like the lowdown. And I would just tell them, like,
they trust you. They understand. If you're willing to risk your paycheck to tell them the truth, to actually help them, that's what a consultant does. You know, and after you prove that, they get really pissed at first. they like the knee-jerk reaction is always horrible. Not always, but I'd probably say 85% or more of the time, it's pretty bad knee-jerk reaction. But when they talk to later they talk to other people and then they realize they're just feeding them full of total shit. And they're like, I need to talk to Matt. I need to talk to Matt again.
Yeah.
He's right, man. These people are telling me nonsense. Like these strategies they're telling me I've been trying, it's doing nothing. It's doing nothing, and I'm paying them. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. I like that, man. It's a little bit of a breath of fresh air. I want to roll things back a little bit before we get too further ahead. It's cool upbringing. I get it on myself. Very entrepreneurial. I'm going to throw a little shill here on my own. Block.io. Go check it out. It's Mike and I. You can get a bunch of SOV gear on there.
Yes.
Adding more. We're hoping to put a relay at some point to the SOV decks, but I don't want to get too far ahead. Like Gavin, look.
Oh yeah, we can do it.
Somebody's coming up to you and they're like, it's just some random dude on the street, and he's like, hey, like, what do you do? And now you're put in this position where you've got to explain what SOV is to like somebody who barely even has heard of Bitcoin. You don't?
I don't. Oh, God, no. Do you think I'm going to tell, like I was explaining earlier before the interview rolled, like I live in a very, very rough area. It's kind of funny because, it's why you'll see not a lot of sympathy from me sometimes. Like I give a lot to charity and stuff like that, but you won't see a lot of like me, like being sympathetic because like if I explained where I live and like all that kind of stuff, people are like, oh, then they feel bad about talking about stuff. And I like people to just talk about stuff and be themselves.
Yeah, man.
The SOV gear in your block shop is awesome. And that's probably the only way that people are going to find out is by me wearing that stuff that they ask me about it. I'll tell them about the project, but I won't tell them who I am. And maybe if they'll find a video, they'll figure it out. Cause like, honestly, I think that if people knew that I made magical internet money here, that I act tough and I walk around and people don't mess with me because their interactions with me in the past, they know I'm fearless. But if they knew that I literally made magical internet money, they might take some more risks. You know what I mean? And we're talking about an area that, I pay all my bills, I eat steak like 4 times a week, really good steak. Yeah. I'm paying like $350, $400 a month with all my stuff included, man, for my entire family, me and everything. So it's like, it's so cheap here. Yeah. And it's also a border city with Venezuela, where a lot of people are coming in, a lot of people without documentation, they'll do stuff for money, man. So it's not the safest thing. So people ask me what I do, and I just tell them that I make applications on phones. I'm like, your phone, the stuff on your phone that you touch and then it does stuff. Yeah, I make those. And they're like, oh, okay, that's good. I understand now. Otherwise, they don't understand.
We kind of have that link because we both live in Central America. I live in Costa. Un poco, sí, un poco.
Estoy muy cerca de Florida ahora porque todas las personas aquí solo hablan español, nada personas hablan inglés, nada. Estoy solo gringo en Costa.
So if anybody isn't listening, he said that nobody where he lives speaks English, and it's a stark contrast to where I am. I'm in like Costa Rica, this sleepy little like beach town. Playa del Coco, come hit me up. You can always find me. You know what I mean? Seriously, actually, people do come hit me up all the time, and I take them out and I show them around. But yeah, it's a little bit of a different from where you are. So obviously, probably bragging about magical internet money is probably not the best route you want to take when you're.
No, and I'm moving soon because this area isn't that good, and we were here because of family and stuff. But we're finally moving. We have all that planned. We're selling a house or renting it, and I'm going to a nicer area, and I'm actually inviting a lot of people already, just like you, like a lot of people that I'm collaborating with on projects and everything that have expressed interest in just seeing Colombia because they've talked to me about it. I'm like, well, you can't come visit me now because it's honestly not very safe, but it's dangerous as hell and you won't like it. You're going to be like, Gavin, you're insane. But pretty soon I've been spotting out some really, really nice areas, and I'm about to be in a really nice area. It's going to be really pretty, not like a castle or anything crazy like that. I don't spend a lot of money like that, but a very like beautiful climate, beautiful scenery, fresh fruits and vegetables all the time, stuff like that. So yeah, if you're cool and you're nice to me and you want to come hit me up in Colombia and not rob me, you can come do that. That's fine. Yeah. It's funny. It's like it's a little bit different though, man. I got all my stuff is encrypted. All my stuff is in keys, man. Like I don't have that much fiat anymore, so it's tough to rob me. It really is.
Exactly. And yeah, it's kind of funny, man. It's just like it's just kind of like it's a different contrast. But I've also been to like certain parts of Central. Like I spent some time in Guatemala, Nicaragua, lots of Panama. Like I've traveled around quite a bit. Colombia is on the list because I hear it's beautiful. So I do want to come and check it out.
Unreal, beautiful, unreal.
Yeah. But I know what it's like when you go, like, I mean, certain areas in Guatemala I've been to, and it's kind of like it's not the most comfortable place to be. And it's all in the way that you present yourself. You sit there and you act like prey, you're going to be prey. But if you walk with confidence, and, as long, so I guess to anybody
wolves are always looking for the stragglers.
Yeah. Well, of course. Right. I mean, people who are strong generally, and this is something that I think I want to talk to you about a little bit later, but people that are strong don't have to don't have to pick off the weak to make themselves, they have other ways of doing things, but we'll get into that. What is SOV to somebody who is in cryptocurrency, isn't trying to rob you in the streets of Colombia?
Okay. All right. I'll explain. I get where your question was going at there. I was kind of explaining like, no, I don't explain what I do. No. Yeah. The best way to explain SOV is basically so how it really started, and I really feel to start this off that the mainnet and EOS is really more going the right direction now. Like earlier when we made SOV, I did not feel it was really going the right direction. There's all these projects and they claim themselves to be crypto, and EOS is like, oh, we're going to take out Ethereum, we're going to do this, and we're going to go to 1,000 to the moon, and we're taking over Bitcoin. But, at the end of the day, none of our tokens or our contracts or anything are immutable. Yeah. Right. Nothing, and almost every single one of them was also inflationary. Centralized under a development team's control, inflationary, just like that's not crypto. Like let's just go trade the pink sheets, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing? I got more protection in the pink sheets than I do in the tokens that are centralized. With the developer control and inflationary, and we've seen it, we've seen tokens disappear. We've seen the Mars project. Fun. So they try claiming they're like SOV and send people to our white paper and stuff, but they're not, don't have a lock contract or nothing like it. And they showed a perfect example of why a currency like SOV is so important. First thing they do is they lock everybody's supply. When one person sells like 12 EOS worth, they just freeze everybody's stuff, right? Is that your money? Is that money? What is that? I don't know what that is. That's like theirs. So really the whole point of cryptocurrency and the reason that it got started and why it got so much traction was like trustlessness, like don't trust, verify, and having complete control of your assets and not having to worry about the rules being changed at all whatsoever, right? So basically we sought to do that on EOS. And we were aware of a way to do that as far as making it immutable back from when Dan used to be more active on Telegram, actually, when he was talking about Showercoin and stuff and how he wanted to launch it, but somebody had to launch it, and then somebody would have to have keys, and they have to trust him. And he's like, well, or we could assign the keys to the system. And the second that I heard that, and some other people heard that too, we all kind of had a light go off, and we were like, oh shit, this is how you make contracts immutable on EOS.io. Or very close to immutable, because the BPs could still override it. But there could be still forks or soft forks and stuff like that in Ethereum too. But it's very, very difficult. It's very close to immutable. And another thing that's really awesome about it is you can't really hack it after that either, because there's no key. It's not like you just lock the key somewhere safe or anything. There's no key anymore. It's just up to the current 15 producing BPs. So that's super cool. And then we liked Bitcoin, and we're like, man, we want to do it like Bitcoin, but we're so tired of inflation right now. Like Bitcoin's inflationary and it's cool. It's a great distribution model. It is, it's great. And Bitcoin's amazing, and SOV isn't trying to replace that. Some people try to say that, oh, you're trying to be like, no, read the freaking white paper. But so we wanted to make an asset like Bitcoin that really leveraged EOS.io technology. And basically deflation, because proof of work and deflation, that's a very, very weird thing. I've been trying to figure out a way maybe to do it. I guess you can do it to where it's inflationary at first and then deflationary eventually, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't like it that much. But yeah, leveraging EOS.io deflation, the transaction speed, having the immutability of Bitcoin, having the final supply of Bitcoin, having a the flexibility of EOS contracts to be able to control the deflation so that it's tied to the supply and it's intelligent and variable, so that it's lasting long. Like we thought a lot about it. Like a few of us, like I actually didn't come up with the concept. The initial concept of a variable rate deflationary currency was somebody else. I helped a lot with fine tweaking the tokenomics and other stuff, obviously, on the project, but it wasn't my concept. But I do remember that when the concept did get spoken out loud, everybody who's involved literally stopped everything. Yeah. It was like a light went off in all of our heads. We were like, this is brilliant. And we have to make this. And we literally stopped everything. Like I got wrecked because of this. Like, I mean, freaking wrecked, Mac. Like I had a mass. Yeah, I got mad wrecked, dude. I was trading BTC futures a lot when we first started making SOV. Yep. Now that's back like right when it went to 14K and came off of it and stuff like that. And I had blown up huge, man. I took like, I don't know, like 15 times my money or something like that. My BTC, yeah. I was up big. I have so much years trading experience. And then I was like, this is too good. I can't look at the charts because I can't focus on building this project. This project is too good. It has to be built. I have to stop looking at the charts. So I was like, what do you do with your position? I was like, I think we could go to an all-time high. I was like, I'm holding it, man, no matter what. I'm either going hero or zero on this one, baby. I'm not looking. So because I thought about it, I was like, well, if it goes zero, like, you know, I'm up like 1,500% or whatever. So I'm really not losing that much, but you really are. You know what I mean? The degenerate trader psychology. Yeah. It's real money. It's real money. You know, I had it. It's real. Yeah. But I was like, but I would feel worse. I told myself in my head, I'd feel worse if we breached 20K again and I didn't have that solid position that I had built for what I thought could be the next bull run. So I was like, and I would feel worse, I think, if I didn't focus on SOV. So I just like told myself, all right, screw it, man. You're just going to lock in this futures position. You're going to work on SOV and pray. And then when I got totally wrecked and completely liquidated, you're welcome, Arthur, you piece of shit. When I got completely wrecked and liquidated, I got to work on SOV that much harder, man, because I was like, I didn't have anything to worry about in the back of my mind. I was almost kind of happy. I was like, good, forget it. I don't need that BTC anymore. I'll get some more.
That's funny. Like a few comments about what you just said. So number one, you know as well as I do, I probably worked on like one of the kind of it's almost like in a sense the antithesis of like the typical crypto anarchist. Worked on Warbly, right, which is like that, you know, AML KYC compliant chain. But before, like, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason because I see an application of the technology that can breach kind of like you know, basically the commercial markets and get institutional money in. So I think that blockchain is a really good use for that kind of thing. But
can I give you one? Can I say one thing? Then I'll let you go. I'm sorry. Yeah, look into Europe chain and then look into Europe chain because they have a lot of those advantages that you would see from Warbly, but they don't have the KYC where it has like the privacy for Europe, the GDPR and all that kind of stuff, so that they can onboard businesses, but also still get crypto guys like me. They're like hardcore like that type of crypto person. I would look into that Europe chain. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, don't. I know Joseph. Actually, I love that guy. He's a great cat.
He's legit. Legit.
I've known him for a long time, and I really, really like him. So Europe, dude. I guess like that's what I was gonna say. Like we were talking about how Bitcoin is like amazing, and some people might agree, some people might not. I think it's beautiful, man. Absolutely, in the same sense. I think Bitcoin is really elegant. I think it was a beautiful. I think it was a gift, you know, that people kind of like this free financial system independent of the government. So it's kind of like there's like always this battle going on in between like, you know, in between me and on one side's like, you know, like, hey, it's a great institutional, you know, AML, KYC, we can kind of use it for like banking and other things. And there's that other side of me, which is like, yeah, I'm tattooed. Like I get it, man. Trust me. You know, I've done some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Who's like, yeah. This is always this is like he's like fuck the government and like, you know, but at the same time like I really, you know, like I understand and I you know I'm kind of like the practicality side and then like the, you know, like the real like, you know, like I understand because I don't like the government either, man. I don't like what they do. There's so much manipulation and crazy shit. And I do believe that we are due for a major economic collapse, but maybe we can talk about that in a little bit. So when I saw SOV and I saw the whole kind of deflationary aspect to the token, I really liked it. When Mike, and that's one thing that people in EOS don't understand, that a lot of they can put the token, you can buy the token, you can have it in your account, and all of a sudden the developer who's running the contract can easily like freeze it. They can take it back. They can
delete
do all
them.
sorts. Yeah,
delete them.
They could do insane shit. So when I heard that you guys froze the contract, I was like, yeah, like that's beautiful, man. Honestly, and like it's you know, it's kind of like truly a decentralized token. So I really
gave it away. Didn't IPO it? Like gave it away. Yeah,
man. I like that. You know, and it's funny because there's like you know, even Marf Coin you talked about, like I have my projects that I like, dude. But I want everything to win. And maybe that's like the baby in me, but I see like, never mind just Marf, like I see this is, and I'm going to probably go off on a tangent and then you can go off after, because I'm sure you've got a lot to say too, man. Like our community, like EOS.io is fucking cool software. It does a lot of really crazy things. It's very powerful. And just like all these people, beat the shit out of anybody who tries to do anything. Not all of them. Like there's some really cool people in the community, but it's the most tribalistic bullshit I've ever seen. It blows my mind how like my token is better. Like why can't they just all exist? Like why, like what the fuck is wrong with you? Why do you have to go over there and knock over that kid's sandcastle? It was over there. You don't even have to look over it. You can move your sandcastle, or you could like just not build a sandcastle close. And all these people just beat the shit out of you. And I actually saw that you went through quite a bit of that. I know, you know, there was a lot of SOV is like, I don't know what's.
I'm a little guilty at times too. I can't pretend to be an angel. Like I shit on Marf so hard, man. Like I mean, there's so much public record of me like shitting on them, so I can't deny it or act like I'm. No, it's fun. But at the same time, if you look at records too, when they mentioned that they were, you know, hey, potentially going to lock the contract in the future. Yeah. And they were like, one of the guys was joking around. I don't know if he was joking or if he wasn't. He was asking about listing maybe on SOV and stuff. And they said that. And I was like, and I got real for a moment. Instead of being a dick to him, I was like, if you are serious about locking your contract, like reach out to me after you lock your contract, you know, then you just provide the million SOV like the other relays have minimum, and 50% of the value in the other token to list. And then we list, you know what I'm saying? Like if you have a locked contract and it's open source and I can look at that code, then I don't have a problem with it. I'm not tribal like that. But I do have a problem, and I am gonna fucking destroy you, and I'm gonna shit on you if you send other people to my white paper or to our project's white paper for your project. It's misleading. It's not fair. It's disgusting. Some people don't know. They don't even, English isn't their first language. You're communicating in English. They just see that. They go to the white paper. They read it. They think it's the same project. They go all in. They get completely wrecked on Marf. And they didn't buy SOV what they thought they bought. So when you just blatantly send people to our white paper for yours and you don't have one, I'm going to shit all over you because stuff like that I feel is a very, very big problem and it needs to be shit on. I don't feel like that's so much tribal. That's just standards for the freaking community and trying to protect people from just getting completely fleeced. Yeah. But yeah, like as far as and back into the I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. I was going to say I understand. They're sticking up for the community and trying to protect people. And like, I know, man, like somebody throws enough dirt your way, you're going to respond. Like, I understand that too, but and I'm not even talking about like the whole Marf versus SOV versus like,
no, in general. And I was about to get into the general part after that. Because I've experienced way more than the other side of it than I have like dishing out like the subpar project, right? Because so many people like they called us scammers. So many people said that I dumped the top and all this shit. If you look it up, I didn't. I actually figured out who dumped the top. I finally figured it out. It was the checks whale, man. I thought it was David. I'm sorry, David. I'll go on the record. I'm sorry. I thought it was you. I thought you dumped me, man. I thought you. I know you don't like me. It's okay. It's okay. It wasn't David P. It wasn't you, man. I think it was Crypto Tim. I heard he was the massive checks whale that just pumped and dumped everything. He crushed us, man. Let's just be real. I did not dump that top. I was lucky to get the asks hit that I did so that we were able to fund SOV decks. Literally all the liquidity I raised from that massive bull run that we had, that went into the project. That went into making SOV better. So we gave it away for free, and then I took all that money and put it into relays to then give that away for free so that people can trade. And SOV is crazy liquid right now. You look on Nudex, it doesn't say this because we're hooked up to like 10 markets right now. We have 10 bids across everything. We're just freaking insane liquid. And SOV arbitrage traders are just arbing everything right now. It's nuts. It's so much fun. Yeah, but it was funny. Back to that point, we were building and we were really heads down because we were building and then we were kind of talking about our ideas, and we'd hear other people talking about our ideas like they were their ideas too. And so they're like, shit, now we got to be quiet. So we went really quiet. And then obviously people are saying we're scammers and we exited and we didn't care. And, you know, part of it, and I'll be on the record here, and I said it to the community too, because I had to put up some sell walls at one point, and they're like, it's Gavin putting up sell walls. And I was like, do you want to trade SOV with SOV or do you want to trade SOV with other stuff? Like, because it's like if SOV mooned more, my relays would get exponentially more expensive in that moment. So I was literally like, people were like, oh, your market's dying. Like Wilfred, oh, your volume's dead. Your market's dying. You're this and that. It's horrible. I'm like, have you ever maybe thought that, you know, maybe I want this? You know, didn't you guys remember I was like market making before and stuff? I'm not now. You ever think maybe it's like this for a reason? There's some strategy involved, but no, people don't think like that. And, you know, we're heads down building. Meanwhile, like an EOSO price, the only EOS bull who's bullish on mainnet, who's mad at all his sisters, is calling us the biggest scammers in the world and begging people not to look at our project or build on it or buy it or anything. And we're building on mainnet a brand new DEX that has dynamically variable difficult mining, that adjusts to how much SOV you burn and everything. Like, we're built some crazy shit. This is insane. And we're also building a ton more DeFi products on it because it's a platform. Like, so many people like Wilfred and all these other guys, they don't look into stuff. Well, it's a little bit our fault too, because I didn't do any releases because I kind of wanted to keep it a secret since people were paying too much attention and trying to eat our lunch, so to speak. But they thought that we were just like building a front end to integrate with the Bancor network. Like, no, we built our own. We built what a lot of arb traders in SOV community are calling Bancor on steroids, because it has a dynamically variable reward mechanism for using it. Bancor does not. Yeah. Bancor is just liquidity. That's all it is. So we took that and then we applied many other things to it to make it gamified and more rewarding to the users, and not to like the centralized organization so much. We gave that all away for free too. The team supplies only 25%. The team only gets its supply when other people mine it. So it has to be mined first. So we never have a disproportionate amount of it. And then with that supply that we have from the team, we're actually going to be giving a lot of that away too. So a lot of that's going to be going to different people for rewards, like maybe US Nation and others that are doing these rewards for people that vote for them so that they can pay their voters in some SVX, maybe an exchange. I'm talking to another exchange right now to list SOV and SVX, a very, very good exchange. It'll be very, very good for SOV. It'll be a new market, and it'll be a very good trading experience as well. But they have a mining pool as well, and most likely we'll be giving part of our team rewards to them to give to their users as well, to help with the distribution and just in general, just to support the ecosystem. But it is crazy because we're doing all this stuff, and we 100% have EOS mainnet in its best interest in our hearts and minds. And our team is mainnet maximalists, and we were some of the few that didn't even stop thinking about building on it with the CPU issues. We never stopped thinking about it. We kept going more, and we built something that uses CPU to mine too, because our mining SVX is a combination of proof of burn and proof of CPU. Yeah. So like we just embraced it, man. And when we first started making SOV, back to your point, like a big grand tangent, but this will close it up. So when we first started making SOV, I really felt the mainnet was going in the wrong direction. EOS was going in the wrong direction. Yeah. But now I feel that it's finally going the right direction, and the mainnet is focused on value creation. And I think that's what it needs to be. And so a lot of the people that we're calling scammers, they've been very silent lately, which has been nice. I will say that. Once you release a DEX, people kind of eat their foot.
I think the fact that we're like, I'm not going to get too far into it, but I'm gonna stand on my own little soapbox here, and then we're gonna move on to something, because I want to talk about deflation. I want to talk about some of the things that are going on around the world, and why you have such a big kind of Venezuelan community, because I think that that's really interesting too. But my personal opinion, and I'm not trying to like, I'm some sort of whatever, but I just think that I think that people are so quick to call things a scam. And from what I've seen, it's not like I'm some grand Pumbaa all-seeing Mr. Like, this is me just talking out my ass. If people agree with me, drop it below in the comments. And if you think I'm an idiot, you can tell me too. It's okay. I've got thick skin.
Me too.
Been around for a while.
Yeah, me too. Say whatever you want about it.
I just think, man, that like,
comment.
I just like, it's frustrating, because I've been part of a lot of projects and a lot, been through a lot of different highs and lows, and I just think that that people just need to focus on their own shit. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to attack other things. Like, the fact that you're out here right now, you're still building, you're still doing things, you're doing promotions, like you're building a product, you're building something that you like, you're continuing to build it out, right? To call SOV a scam.
Other people love it too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just it's ridiculous, and it's really actually negatively impactful to our industry, I think, because when a lot of people go on these Telegram channels and they see like they just like, the toxicity sometimes is shocking, and I know like it's easy to do. Like, you're sitting at home, you're hiding behind some avatar, you don't have your face up there, and it's easy to just hurl insults and be a dick. But you're not only is it Telegram. Like, yeah, it's a very low intelligence trait. And on top of that, it's very harmful, not just to yourself and the way that I won't say intelligent, because intelligence doesn't mean that you're not malicious. But I'll just say, like, I mean, the kind of people that I would want to surround myself are probably watching you thinking, you're an idiot. If you don't have intimate knowledge of what's going on, and if somebody, I just think that the word scam, I think that the way that we talk endless amounts of shit about like other chains and other products, and like, just let people do them. And if we manage, I don't think it's going to change, but I'm just getting this off my chest. I think that if we just manage to just scale it all back a little bit, and just live and let live, and just let people, like, if somebody's not clearly trying to, exit scam and take off, they're building something, then just let them do their shit. And if you're really, focus on your own stuff, because there's a lot of time in the day, and a lot of people spend a lot of time tearing other people's stuff down, and it's ridiculous. I don't know. Those
a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of time.
No, and I agree. And I think that the main reason that the word scam is thrown out so much, it's a combination of things. It's a combination of ignorance, and it's a combination of wanting to appear to be right. And to appear to be knowledgeable. Because if you call everything a scam, you're probably shooting 8 for 10, 4 for 5 or something like that. So right, you're shooting pretty well, for one, right off the bat, right? You got some cred. You got some street cred just based on your percentages right there. So if you're playing the numbers game and you call everything a scam, and you're trying to build like a YouTube presence or something, maybe it makes sense. I guess. But the real reason that I think it's ignorance, and it's easy. Because if you're ignorant about something, it's so much easier to say it's a scam. Most people really, really don't like admitting they don't understand something. People really don't like admitting something is going over their head. Yep. People feel extremely uncomfortable when everybody else is like getting really excited and understand something, but they don't understand it. So what do? They like to ruin everybody's party and call it a scam, and just shit on the parade, right? And then everybody gets mad, and then it stir the pot, and then there we go. Yeah. I think that it is possible for this to get much better. It's never going to go away, because humans... There's always a few bad apples, and they're always going to stir the pot up, and they're always going to poison the ones real close to them. They're going to get bad too. But if we focus more on educating people when they call something a scam that's not a scam, like when somebody calls SOV a scam, I do my best to educate them. Like, how is it a scam when it's this, and this? Please explain. And then there's like, it's still a scam. I'm like, okay, I did my part. Right? It's fine. Yeah, whatever. You can be ignorant. It's fine. Yeah. But I did my part. I'm going to explain why it's not, and then I'll ask you to further tell me why you think it is. And then if you're completely ignorant and just refusing to open your mind or learn anything, then I'll stop the conversation and it's a waste of time.
Exactly.
But I do find that most of the time that you are able to kind of open people's minds up, and a lot of times they don't understand stuff, and you can bring up a point. They're like, oh, it's like that. I didn't know that. And you're like, yeah, like, well, that makes things different. And they're like, oh, and then everything's different after that, you know. But so I think it's education, and, you know, it's tough to educate communities when we're all just at each other all the time too. So it's like it's a catch-22 loop.
I really
but we need to work on it.
Yeah, we need to start working together, because if somebody's screwing something up, and you actually approach them in a positive way, and you're like, "Hey, look, this is what I think. Can I offer you some help?" Like, it would just, everything would change. And I mean, I don't know. It's kind of disheartening. I've been part of a few projects, and I don't like let it affect me or anything like that. Like, most of the time, I'm laughing. I got pretty thick skin. I've wrote some really serious shitstorms, but I'm also a firm believer in. I think if you legitimately think, that somebody's not trying or that there's something wrong, point it out. I'm not saying like just pretend like everything is lollipops and rainbows, but I'm just saying that I'm a firm believer in, and maybe this is crazy, like, weird metaphysical bullshit, I'm sorry, but I'm a firm believer in the thoughts that you hold in your brain, the way that you express yourself, and even, I'm trying to swear less, which I'm failing miserably, right? Even like, there's just I'm like a believer.
I'm trying to swear more.
Yeah, there you go. I just think that.
Joking. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible, man. I don't think it's possible to swear more.
I just think that I think that your attitude kind of like really can help define like your environment. And I just think that people got to lighten up, man.
Your energy.
People got to stop, people got to stop going after each other for stupid shit. And if you don't like something, you can go and build something better. That's what the real person does. If you have a problem with something, then go and build something that fixes the problem that you think that has.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's true. And you're an entrepreneur. So entrepreneurs think like that. Entrepreneurs love problems. We're like, oh my God, where's the next problem? Let me find the next problem, please, please, please. Because problems mean you can make a solution. And if it's a big problem and you have a good solution, you make everybody's lives better, and you make your life a lot better too, because you profit from it, right? I mean, that's like the whole point of an entrepreneur is my type of entrepreneur. I like to add value and then receive back because solving an issue.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I never talk shit about any projects. Like, it's kind of like unless it's like clearly a scam, like I know that's weird, and I'm like an extreme case.
Remember Best? Remember you and I and Best? That's where I met you. Best. Yeah, remember that was me. That was Gavin. Yeah, that was the same Gavin.
Yeah, Best is Best.
Yeah, we had fun. We knew we were getting wrecked. Right? We were like, this is so scammy. This is so scam. But maybe we'll make it all back on our dividends first, and then we can sell. I mean, we had good times on that one.
I'm sitting here on my high horse.
I think I broke even on Best by a miracle. I remember shilling it, but I was very transparent to everybody. I was like, listen, I'm probably going to lose my entire position on this, but the dividends should pay it back and maybe a little bit more. That's the way to play this thing. Like, do not play this thing if you don't understand that we could 100% lose everything. This is sketchy dice clone shit, man. But it was so much fun. Remember when those divs were going insane? You were making jokes about it stealing our souls.
Yeah, it was great.
Fun, man.
Yeah, that was a good time.
But that was a scam. That was a scam.
I think we can
safely say that was a scam.
Yeah, I just wonder if it was probably a scam.
Yeah. I mean, they did pay some dividends for a while. I think I broke even, so
too good. Okay, I'm going to completely get off my high horse here. Let's just pretend we're going to shift over to the next. All right, Best is Best. That's all I have to say about that. Let's talk. Why do you guys have such a big Venezuelan community? Because I think that's kind of one of the problems that SOV solves, right?
Yeah, so they get it more than others because, unfortunately, and I get it too. Sorry, my chair keeps slipping down.
No worries, man.
And I get it too. I got like a special chair because my back. But they get it, man. Like, it's so bad. The bull bear is so bad. It's insane, man. Like, I have stuff made from bolivars to hold my money, like a wallet, like a money bag made from bolivars. People have like vases and stuff made from bolivars, and they sell them for pesos, for Colombian pesos. So they've experienced inflation so bad as a result of, the monetary system being in centralized control, and them just pumping out more and more and more and more. And the reasons for that I won't get into, because the geopolitical situation in Venezuela is incredibly complex. And if you look into the implications of how the U.S. capitalist system kind of makes things worse to an extent. I don't know. I don't want to say one side or the other, but it's not cut and dry. I don't want to just blame it on the people of Venezuela or the government of Venezuela, or I don't want to just blame it on the West, the capitalist governments like they do, but it is extremely complex. The point of it is, though, they've experienced inflation like we haven't seen since probably Zimbabwe, or maybe it's even worse than that.
Yeah.
And the money is like wheelbarrows full of it for nothing. And they get it, man. So they get it. They understand a currency that cannot be changed. And that also is constantly has a supply that's decreasing instead of increasing, a deflationary currency. So they really like it. They really, really like it. They found it pretty quick. They latched onto it. They go out and they do meetups on it, and they really like it. And then we have like more and more services built for them. Pretty soon I'll go and try to build some more merchant services for them, because now they'll be able to. SOV is great, because now if you have SOV, not only do you have an immutable deflationary currency, but you have a liquidity token too. So it's extremely liquid now. So you can get in and out of it very easily, and you can arbitrate it very easily if you're like me. So you have these 9 other markets we have it hooked up to. Anytime one of those markets just has a quick spike, you have instant liquidity if you're fast at the cheap price still with SOV, and you just boom, and then you make some money real quick. But it's just so easy to swap it into anything now. And then it also has 10 bids, or 11 now, I think. 11 bids, because it's in 11 markets. So it's, the bid is spread out across 11 different markets. So if you just nail it in one market, you're not crashing SOV anymore. It's just going to recover really quick. And we've been seeing it lately do that. Somebody will hit a relay, or they'll hit Nudex really hard, and then the market will, because it's got the dynamic rewards for doing so too, and then the arbitrage opportunities. It's actually making volatility on all the projects that we're hooked up to in Nudex better. It's taking volatility down, and it's tightening spreads overall too. So it's helping out everything that we're hooked up to. I don't know how I got on. I think I just got on the tangent on SOVdex somehow. I don't know if you asked me about that.
No, wait. Hold on.
Man.
No,
Killing my project so hard. I got so many tokens in it, man. I just threw like another $5,000 worth of tokens in it, or more. I don't know how much I threw into it for that Yaz relay. It was like,
yeah. Let's talk about that, man. So like, what? So you created. That's kind of like one of the things you created a. It's essentially like a DEX, right? It's like a trading DEX where you can trade in and out of liquidity.
Cool
right?
thing, man.
Yeah. What's the?
That's my dream project.
Yeah,
it's like my dream project, and it's not just my project, but it's my dream project. Like, it's my dream, and I think it's a lot of other people's dreams too. To be honest, but when I first got into EOS, I got my name kind of in EOS, or I kind of got started trading RAM.
Yeah,
that shit was so much fun.
Yeah.
So insane. I was a major RAM speculator. I was one of the guys who was trying to talk reason to everybody too, and then they ended up making me an admin and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of how I got a reputation for people to understand that I wasn't just like a total pump and dump piece of shit. I was like, this is dangerous. Like, you don't understand. Like, the rules are changing. They fucked the CW up. Like, I understand all these things now very intuitively, because our DEX runs off the same stuff, right?
Yeah.
I realized then at that moment how fun that was. Like, this is amazing. So you can make an instant swap DEX. I was like, and it's not just RAM. You can create an insane amount of different trading products using this. Like, Rex is created with it. Like, all these other things, Bancor is created with it. SOVdex is created with it. And there's slightly different variations to it. So I saw that and I was like, holy crap, man, we could make so many just wild trading products, right? Wild trading products.
Yeah.
Wild trading products, leveraging.
I think
and
it's
now
cool.
we're doing it, but SOV is the liquidity token. So more in the future, you're going to see some of these crazy projects that I have in my mind and other people's have in their mind that they're going to dream up. And what's great about that is you'll save on the fees from trading our new instruments that we're making, because we're going to make like risk mitigation instruments and all kinds of stuff. We're going to, I'm exploring a way to make basically daily options that are tradable, that are sellable back into a Rex-like system that have like it's a time allotment. So it depletes, but when you combine them back into full contracts, you're able to sell them back into the system. So we're working on some very, very, very interesting stuff. And then another thing that we have like built out pretty far that I'm not going to share because it's going to be one of our major updates. And I just want to just make it a huge surprise. Like we kind of did with SOV. I like to just drop stuff on people, not so much. But yeah, so it's a DEX, and it's a true DEX because we never hold custody funds too. I really, really like that about this type of DEX. It's an instant swap. You send a fund in, the other fund gets sent back immediately. If we don't accept your fund, if we don't send it, it's instant. So we never control it. So that's very good as far as regulations are concerned. And then if you'll notice, our beta and everything is on GitHub. So the front end is completely open source server. Now, I bought soveos.io. That wasn't a cheap domain. It's a freaking sweet domain. I paid for a VPS, a virtual private server, and everything for it. But I did more research, and I looked into the Ether Delta case against the SEC with their DEX.
Yes.
And I wanted to make sure that we were good with SOV just like we were good with SOV. And what I learned was if you provide the smart contract, the order book, and the front end, you're centralized. You're not a DEX. And even if it operates kind of like a DEX through an Ethereum smart contract or an EOS smart contract, it doesn't really matter. The SEC is going to go after you in that situation. You're going to have to pay some money to settle with them, or you're going to have to shut your thing down, or you're going to have huge legal problems. Right? You have one of those three choices. Yep. So we don't provide an order book because it's not an order book type DEX. So we're good on that. And then we don't, we provide the front end code, but it's open source and anybody can use it. And we also are not hosting it. It's hosted on GitHub. So with that being done that way, we're really solid. We're really solid. So it's good. And it's a DEX. It's a true DEX. You don't need any permission. You don't need anything. We never hold your funds. And that's why many people love it right now. If you go in our community and you talk to the traders, they're like, I'm so addicted. This is amazing. All the ARB traders, all the SOVDEX traders are having a freaking blast because you just click the button. If the nodes are functioning well, it's so fast. And then you can ARB on NewDex or wherever you need to ARB real quick and do your thing. You're in and out. You got your little profit back. And I think a lot of them are using their profits to pump SOV too because they're bullish on SOV. So they're ARBing they're ARBing NewDex and then funneling the money back into SOV right now. So yeah, it's cool, it wasn't necessarily my dream to make SOV a liquidity token. Yep. And I didn't really actually realize it when we built the DEX and then we made then we launched it with several relays at once instead of just like an EOS, SOV EOS relay. Yeah. But then I realized it right after. I was like, damn, this is officially a liquidity token. And unlike Bancor, it's a deflationary liquidity token. And it can't be changed. So every time the trade happens, more deflation happens, right? So it's encouraging deflation for one, but then that makes it that much harder to get that same amount of SOV back into those relays, right? And the less SOV in those relays, the more the SOV is worth because the bid is higher to the other asset with the way that the algorithm works. Yeah. So with that happening like slowly over time, I like SOV a lot right now. Like I think it's like cool with too. That token. Honestly, with that, well, I mean the way relays function, the more relays we have hooked up to, with time it's I think it's overpowered. To be honest, I think it's overpowered. It's going to be really tough to keep that same amount of SOV in those relays, which means the bid for SOV is just going to keep increasing across multiple markets. If I'm correct, I've been wrong many times in my life. Hell, I invested in Best Ice.
My God, man. It's funny because I try to, I've worked for some pretty professional projects. But I still I want so badly to be like an amazing trader. And I'm terrible, man. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I make terrible. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll come check it out. You do have a chance on top that you do. I mean, it's getting harder now because people are understanding it more and more people are trading it. So more people are ARBing. So the ARB opportunities don't last as long. Sure. But I'm telling you, I
so many people hit me up when we first launched it. They're like, "Are you sure this is okay? Like, do you have a bug? Like, I'm making money. Like, I'm making money right now. Are you sure that we're not going to bust your relays? Is there something wrong? I don't want to break SOV decks."
For sure.
I'm like, "Bro, you're not going to break SOV decks. I tested the shit out of this thing. Like, you should have saw what I did to these relays on jungle. Like, it was absurd what I did to these relays on jungle. You're not. No, you're not. You're just making money because you're quick and other people don't realize it, and you're arbing new decks. Like, the token goes up like DAP the other day. It spikes real huge, right? It went up like 40%, like that, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's a delay on SOV decks. You just instantly sell SOV at 40% more DAP and then sell a DAP.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's so easy. Like,
it's also creating volume.
It's not easy now. I don't want to say it's so easy. It's hard. Trading is hard. I have a lot of experience trading. So for me to say it's so easy, don't listen to me. I have over 20 years of trading experience. Or not over, very close to 20 years of trading experience in very high risk markets across options, across futures, across everything. So I intuitively understand these things. But I do intuitively understand that SOVDEX arbitration and trading on SOVDEX is much easier than just trading on Nudex or Findex or WhaleX or one of these things. Using SOVDEX as kind of your little central hub to see where you can access instant liquidity is an incredible tool. And people that are not used to doing well trading are like, "Holy shit, I am making money right now. Thank you so much." It's cool. It's cool when people hit me up and they send me their balances and they're like, "Look how much more SOV I have. This is freaking awesome." Little hearts. I love SOVDEX and stuff. Awesome. And I love it, man. I mean, because I love traders. So to build something and the traders to get the confirmation that they are not only having fun, like having a really good time, but they're able to use their strategies effectively and actually increase their positions with it. So that's cool. I'm sure there's somebody out there that got wrecked. It's like, "Fuck you, Gavin." Like I hit that relay and I got completely fucking wrecked on DAP right when you arbed it. And you did it. I saw your account on Nudex. It was you. I'm arbing my own relays. I don't care. I'll admit it. Like, I put them up. Like, I arb. I'm a trader, man. Like,
I try to be a trader. But I'm terrible.
On SOVDEX, you're trading against me too. Yeah, but
that's awesome. Yeah, no, I spend a lot of time learning. I'm actually, I spend a lot of time like reading, learning, and trading. But one thing that I found is I'm not a trader, but I still do enjoy it. I enjoy I enjoy the markets, and I really
they're fun.
It is. It really is fun. So I totally get it, man. Look, we've been talking
something about green and red candles that get men excited. Somebody gave me that quote the other day. There's like something about green and red candles that get men excited more than women or something like that. I don't know. It's pretty funny.
Probably accurate. Look, Gavin, man, we've been talking for over an hour. It was really cool to finally sit down.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fun though. I guess like one thing that I'm definitely going to do is I'm going to put the links for SOV below. I'm going to put the white paper in. I'm going to put any additional info. Make sure you go and check out Gavin's Telegram as well, because it's always pretty fun. You got a pretty happening community there. I know a lot of guys who are in there, and it's a lot of fun, man. But look, people can say whatever they want to say. You have built a deflationary, truly decentralized token on EOS that nobody owns, and you're constantly building and adding and creating new features. So I think SOV is
doing everything we can to add value to it.
I see it, man.
Everything we can to add value.
I can see that. Honestly, I can. So I really look. You're a good guy. I think you're hilarious. I always have. I love seeing you do your thing, man. And we'll talk a little bit later on about maybe getting an SOV Dex, maybe getting relay integrated into the I'll help you out with a relay setup, and maybe we'll do one of these again in a more structured format. I'll have more of a presentation put together on how to use the beta. I probably should have done that for this. My apologies for anyone who thought that, but I've been so spread thin. Like, I just listed Yaz before this, and I just updated the front end, and I'm building the charts for it now. And like, I do a lot. I don't just do the community stuff. I develop and everything else too. So I'm spread a little thin. Bear with me. Trust me, I'm working 18 hours a day for the community. I'm working 18 hours a day for y'all right now. We're going to make this happen. We're going to see SOVDEX and SOV growing like crazy. I promise you that. And thank you so much for having me on here. And it's like, I feel exactly the same.
It's really good to finally talk to you, especially after all our fun interaction. Over a year ago at Best Ice. That was
a while ago.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fun, Gavin. I'm gonna make sure that that I put everything below in the details. And honestly, I love SOV. I love what you're doing. Don't let the haters stop you. Just keep pushing. And
no, never. I'll be buying some clothes from you as soon as I get my new address too. On Block Shop.
No worries.
No joke. I love it. Those hats. Yeah, like you guys' stuff is great. So everybody check that out too. I'll share that in the Telegram. But the SOV and SVX attire that they are putting out and other stuff with EOS and other blockchains too, I think, is really cool, man. Block Shop's really cool. So check that out. That's my plug for you guys too. But I'll let you go. I imagine it's getting late over there, and the fans probably getting mad. Like the missus is probably getting mad too. But.
Sounds good. Mine as well. All right, Gav. Thanks so much, buddy. It was really cool to talk to you. Let's do it again soon, okay?
Always, man.
All right, brother. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.